I think the issue with some African countries being resistant to this LGBTQ plus bill is the fact that African countries are beginning to get tired of it always has to be the West to come and tell them this is right before they practice it, or this is wrong before they practice it. For civilization's sake, Africa is a continent with 54 sovereign states. So you can't just come to countries, impose your beliefs on them or impose your ideologies on them and you expect them to practice it. Otherwise, you start threatening them with sanctions or loans from IMF and World Bank. No, these are countries that have their own local laws as well as their legislation that protects not only the interest and ethics of their country, but also the future generation. And for Africans going around saying, oh, there are other issues in Africa to worry about, not LGBTQ. Well, first off, those issues are in Africa because of the same reason. Because Africa has never really gotten its true independence to be in charge of their own affairs, to be in charge of managing their own affairs. It always has to be the West to dictate to them how to run their affairs. They even have to be the one to set price or to manage how they trade their own mineral resources. So it's the same reason why those issues are still here. But if Africa really get their true independence of managing their resource, follow the ideologies of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, those issues will not be here. Second off, do Africans really have to wait for the white man to come and save them? Like, it's not time to realize that we have to take the wheel to our own future, because these people have been lying to you for centuries. Same lies pre-slavery, same lies pre-colonization, the same lie they are still bringing. They come and steal ideas from you, go and rebrand it and bring it back and impose it on you in benefit of their own countries. The white man, your oppressor, has to be the one to teach you your history. They have made you believe patriarchy was an African thing or is an African thing, whereas patriarchy was never an African thing. Matter of fact, there was matriarchy and matrilineage before the invasion of the West and America, which means not only that societies and kingdoms were governed by women, but also a person's ancestry was traced through his mother's lineage, not through his father's lineage. They came and corrupt your mind with one of their greatest weapons, which is religion. They made Africans believe a woman should be submissive to her husband. And because the word submission is being misunderstood, Africans start practicing submission or submitting to your husband in a form of patriarchy, whereas the man has to be in charge of everything. The man has to be the ones like to be governing the society, governing the kingdoms, and also the woman can only be a servant to her husband. So Africans start seeing submitting to your husband as a tradition or as a culture. They made you believe Mungo Park discovered Nigeria or Pedro Center discovered Sierra Leone, whereas people have been living in these places before the invasion of the white man. And that is because most Africans are careless about their history. They don't want to research or dig into their history. For example, Egyptology is part of most Western curriculum, but universities in Africa, for example, Ghana, don't even teach their kids about the accounts of Ghana and Ivory Coast, that we are practicing the same thing the pharaohs of ancient Egypt were practicing. When Africans start benefiting in one or two ways from their colonists or from the white man, they start teaming up with the white man to suppress their own fellow Africans. You see some of them say, let's move on. How can you move on when there is still systematic racism, there is still microaggressions, people being prejudiced to you because of your skin color or because of your ethnicity? To me, moving on means you have accepted that you are inferior, because the only time I will move on is when Africa really gets its true independence. I'll see you in the next one.